Brother trashed our grandparents' house, causing me to clean up maggots and mold. Now he's demanding $150 for broken fishing rods. My 22F grandparents died when I was young, and my mom inherited the house. She never sold it, and likes to use it for holiday celebrations. My brother, 24 male, Sam, and I have full access to the house. Sam uses it often and doesn't treat it well. This upsets Mom because she wants it to be clean for the holidays, yet she doesn't take away his keys, and she always expects me to help her clean the mess because she knows Sam won't. So, I came to town with my new kitten yesterday, and was planning to stay at my grandparents' house. I was told that there may be some fishing gear out, but overall, it's clean. I walked into the house, and it was so bad that the only safe place for me to leave the cat unattended was a bathroom. It was disgusting. There was rotting meat, maggots, mold, mud, open beer cans everywhere, fishing hooks on the carpet, plus a pile of like 20 fishing rods thrown on the floor. There was more, but it's hard to describe how bad it was with just words alone. I called my mom crying, because I had nowhere else to stay since they had guests staying in my bedroom. My options were to figure something out there or drive hours back to my apartment. My mom told me to just clean it up enough so that it would be safe for my cat to be there, and to just throw any of Sam's stuff into the garage. She said that we were going to have to clean it up anyways, so might as well just start now. So, I did, even though I was upset with the fact that I was once again expected to clean up Sam's mess for him. While cleaning, I put his pile of fishing rods into the garage like my mom said. Earlier today he came over here to get something for his next fishing trip, and I guess 2 of his rods that I moved broke. I don't know how because he wouldn't show me, but he started demanding that I pay him $150 for replacements because I was the one that moved them. I refused and told him he has no business treating the house the way he does. I essentially said that I'm sorry his rods broke and I didn't mean to damage anything, but if he wouldn't have left them out like he did, this wouldn't be an issue. I showed him pictures of the rat shit, mold, and maggots that I had to clean up just so my cat wouldn't eat it and get sick. He had lied and said that the house was pretty much clean, and since he didn't clean it up himself, then this is what he gets. Now he refuses to speak to me until I pay him, and calls me an asshole for refusing to. My mom is trying to stay out of it but suggested I just pay him so we can have a peaceful Thanksgiving. My dad is on my side. My brother's girlfriend texted me basically saying that I'm an asshole because it's easier for me to afford $150 than it is for him. In response, I sent her photos of everything I had to clean up, and she left me on read. At first I was sure of my stance, but now I'm not sure and was hoping to get some outside input. Update 1. Turns out what really happened was that Sam's girlfriend ended up not seeing the rods where I put them and stepped on them. She didn't tell Sam this until later today after she texted me, and I didn't respond how she hoped. Currently Sam and his GF are here but downstairs fighting about who knows what. He's apparently going to be helping to clean out the garage, so we'll see how that goes. Like I mentioned, I cleaned up the house yesterday enough so that my cat wouldn't get into anything that would make her sick or injure her, but there's still a lot of work to do before the house is fit to have company over. So my mom came in earlier, saw the state of the house, and started crying. I didn't mention this in the post, but my mom inherited the house jointly with my aunt who lives on the other side of the state. My aunt will flip out if she sees what Sam did to it, which adds an extra layer of pressure on my mom to get it clean. The only thing my mom said when she walked in was that she's stressed about all the stuff she has to do to prepare for Thanksgiving, and then she just stopped speaking altogether. I tried to talk to her but she just ignored me. Now she's just in the kitchen trying to make it look presentable. Not much else to say, everyone is currently distressed out with other stuff to speak to me at the moment, so I'm just in the corner on my laptop with my cat pretending to do homework. Not sure what's going to happen next, but I'll keep y'all updated on if anything else of interest happens. Final update, well, I told my aunt about everything, and now she's pushing to sell the house. She says that she does not want to pay expenses on a house that a 20-something-year-old is just going to trash. So yeah, that's that I guess. As for my brother, well, there's a lot more to his story than I initially realized. That's out of the realm of this sub. Update 2. I found out my brother is doing drugs. I have a brother, Sam. I don't know if it's true to say that I've always had issues with him, because in reality my parents, more so my mother, are the ones who've enabled him for so long. They've always cleaned up his messes for him or made me do it, but he's never really had to take responsibility for himself. Me and my dad have always thought he's had at least a minor issue with alcohol, but on Thanksgiving he told me about his drug use and how he does pills and coke. Apparently he's been into it since high school. He also talked about some dangerous situations he's been in as a result of his drug and alcohol use, which I don't want to go into detail about in this sub, but he could get in legal trouble or worse as a result. I'm not close to my brother but I still care about him, and after finding out about this I've been an anxious mess. I don't know how to cope with this. I feel like telling my parents would either result in them enabling the behavior more or kicking him out on the street, and both options could very well make the situation worse. I was originally planning to go low contact with my family before learning this, but now I'm just scared. Right now I'm just looking for outside opinions and advice. Update 3. My original plan for this account was going to be just to post my original IDA post and then permanently log out of it, but since then a lot has happened. Many people have reached out wanting updates, and I figured out that I'm struggling with everything and desperately need to get things off my chest more than I thought. So, I'll be staying on this account for a while. I don't expect that a lot of people will read this, and I'm writing this out more for myself than anyone else, but in case anyone else is reading this. Hello. Feel free to comment, share your thoughts, offer advice, anything. Before I go into things more, I want to put out a massive trigger warning. Drugs, alcohol, DUI, and potentially other triggering topics will be discussed. First of all, I want to talk a bit more about my family. My 22F brother, Sam, 24M, has displayed problematic behavior since he was young. I don't know if it's true to say that I've always had issues with him because in reality my parents, more so my mother, are the ones who've enabled him for so long. As of right now though, I cannot stand his behavior. In essence, he's never had to really clean up his own messes, whether that be literally or metaphorically. Growing up I was the one who would have to clean up a lot of our shared areas, because he would throw a tantrum over it and I wouldn't, and my mom didn't want to listen to him scream, yet she'd say it was equal because he would do other things. He almost failed out of high school, but to prevent this my mom made me do a lot of his homework and even online classes sometimes just so he would get his diploma. While I was busy doing both his homework and my own, he was out fishing with friends. He was at fault for 3 car accidents before my parents stopped buying him replacement cars and paying for his insurance. He also managed to gain around $30,000 worth of credit card debt on one of my parents' cards, as an adult, yet even though they're still struggling to pay it off, they aren't making him pay a thing. And to this day, he lives rent-free with my parents while he works and attends trade school, and I know for a fact that they're still cleaning up after him in more ways than one. So for a long time I've been expected to help clean up after him. The Ida post is just the most recent example of it. This wasn't anything out of the ordinary. This has become a pattern over the past few years. He trashes that house and my mom expects me to help her clean it up for holidays. He sometimes will reorganize his fishing gear in the garage or move it to another room and my mom considers that as him helping us clean. But this year, with the situation in that post, it was the worst he's ever trashed that house. After that, I really tried to convince my mom that he's never going to respect the place and she should take away his access to the house. At first she seemed like she was on board, but later she backtracked and said that she doesn't want to stop giving Sam the benefit of the doubt. In that moment it was clear to me that she's never going to stop letting him get away with everything. I had been considering going low contact with my family when I moved within a month or two, but this kinda sealed the deal for me. At this point with my mom's stress level, my aunt knew something was up. She asked me about it and then I told her about how badly Sam trashed the place. At first she was absolutely pissed, said that she does not want to pay expenses on a house that a 20-something-year-old is just going to trash. Then she started pushing to sell the house. That did not last long though. She changed her tune for reasons unknown and says that, while it's BS that my mom expects me to clean up my brother's mess, as long as my mom cleans things up then it's fine. She said that it's just natural for 24-year-old boys to do stuff like this. So, Thanksgiving happens. My aunt and cousins come in, along with other family members. I had to lay down for a bit after dinner because I wasn't feeling well, but when I got back up about an hour later I went downstairs and found Sam alone with my 2 cousins, 12M and 17F. He was giving them both beer. To me it seemed like he was pressuring 17F to drink more while 12M seemed to want to do it to seem cool. But when I came down I stopped the 2 kids from drinking anymore regardless. He was also telling them his life stories and continued to talk about them while I was there. He was talking about all of the women he slept with, all the alcohol he drinks on his boat, including stories of how sometimes he gets his friends' kids drunk but only with parental permission, and how he does pills and cocaine. He also talks about how he goes out hunting while he's on these substances too, both with a rifle and with a crossbow. He told me about how if he takes coke after being blackout drunk, it's like a reset button and he's all of a sudden okay to drive. He's apparently been into this stuff since high school. Along with this he talks about many different fights that he's been in and all the different people who received a beating from him. He was just saying all this stuff plus so much more and I was honestly so shocked at some of what I was hearing, that I barely reacted at first. I offered to get him Narcan to carry around with him in case him or someone he knows would need it, but he refused. He said that one of his friends has some anyways but he doesn't think he would ever need it because the stuff he gets is pure. At that point all I could focus on was getting my cousins out of there. Something just snapped, and I realized that Sam was saying and doing stuff that was just absolutely inappropriate that I could not possibly sit there anymore. My aunt wanted me to take them over to the other house to play with the cat, so that's what I ended up doing. When we got there I had to babysit. 12M was still buzzed and searching the house for more alcohol. I obviously wouldn't let him drink anymore, and meanwhile 17F was in the bathroom throwing up. I later talked to 17F about the situation and what she thought. She told me how she felt like Sam was straight up pressuring her to drink more. She'd finish one and he would just hand her another and tell her to drink more. She only wanted one but he got her to drink 3. Meanwhile, she felt that her little brother was witnessing everything and wanting to be cool and drink too. He had a can of beer and as a small, short, and skinny 12-year-old kid that was enough to make him feel something. She also said that Sam was saying that it makes him sad that he's not close to anyone in the family, and made her promise that they'll start getting close. He also talked about how he wanted to take her partying when she turns 18 soon. Now, everything so far is a red flag, but everything involving minors is a major red flag to me. My cousins don't want to tell their mom because of separate abuse problems going on in that household. Yes, CPS was involved, but no, nothing good came of it. That's a completely different story that I won't be getting into in this post. But I know one thing for sure, and it's that I will do everything in my power to keep these kids away from my brother because he's putting them in danger. 17F particularly is like a little sister to me, and maybe I'm a bit too overprotective, but what business does a 24-year-old man have bringing a barely 18-year-old girl to one of these parties where there will likely be a lot of alcohol and likely drugs as well? There are so many red flags flying here, and no matter what happens, I do not want him to put her into any sort of bad situation. So, yeah. I'm currently at a point where I really want to just go low contact with my family, but I don't feel right about just leaving the situation be. He can end up in jail or worse. At very least, I'm planning on telling my parents about the alcohol issue, and making it clear that under no circumstances are they to leave Sam alone with the kids. I've decided that sheltering them from all of this is my first priority. My parents will be pissed, I'm sure, but I don't think they'll actually punish him in any way. But about the drugs, I'm unsure if I'll be saying anything. I have a feeling that I know what's going to happen if I do that. My dad will yell and scream and want to kick my brother out. My mom will yell and cry and then completely shut down and ignore the situation, probably enable it further. I could be wrong about that, but since he's a grown man, there's nothing anybody else can do to get him to stop if he doesn't want to stop. The moral of the story is that if I go this route, I don't know that it would be particularly helpful, and it may even make things worse. And based on past situations, I feel like my brother may deny everything, and if he does, I feel like my parents would, unfortunately, believe him over me. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's how I'm feeling. So, what happens next? No clue. All I can say is wish me luck because I'm gonna need it. Hi all. I was made aware of this post by a friend who sent me a screenshot saying the situation sounded similar to mine. It was a surprise to me to see how many people were commenting, especially since I didn't think anyone was going to see that long rant I posted. I appreciate the comments and advice. Some of the stuff wasn't pleasant to read, but I think I needed to hear it. I'll try to respond to some of the comments, but I just wanted to clear some stuff up. 1. My cousins are currently safe from Sam. They left the day after Thanksgiving. They live about 8 hours away, so they're nowhere near him. They only see him on Thanksgiving and Easter, which is part of the reason I haven't said anything to my family yet. 2. Me and my cat are also safe from Sam at the moment. We left right after my cousins did, and we also live hours away. 3. I mentioned that I plan to make it clear to my mom that under no circumstances should my brother be alone with the cousins. I talked this out with my therapist. She agrees with my conclusion there. However, she suggested that I take a break from the situation, as she was worried about my physical and mental well-being. She stressed that it's important to take action here, but considering that my cousins aren't currently accessible by him, it's okay to give myself a break. I think I'm going to talk to her today, at least about the alcohol. 4. I wanted to stress this. Telling my aunt and uncle isn't an option. There are separate abuse issues going on in that household, and letting them know about this will only make it worse. If I tell them, they will blame the children, as fucked up as that is. That would potentially put them in a harmful situation. Update 4. My cousins are currently safe from Sam. They left the day after Thanksgiving. They live about 8 hours away, so they're nowhere near him, and won't be seeing him until Easter, maybe not even then due to recent developments. I'm also hours away, with my cat, mentioning since some people didn't and commented concerned about Sam being near the cat, so I'm not in any immediate danger. As for everyone saying that I need to tell my cousin's parents, I want to stress this. Telling my aunt and uncle isn't an option. There are separate abuse issues going on in that household, and letting them know about this will only make it worse. If I tell them, they will blame the children, as fucked up as that is. That would potentially put them in a harmful situation. Yes, CPS has been involved more than once. No, they haven't done anything about it. It's a complicated situation, and all I can say is that the system is broken, particularly so in the area where they live. I and many others, including other family members, therapists, and teachers, have tried to help my cousins with the situation they're in since I myself was 16 or 17 years old. After years of trying to get something to change, I and the others involved have come to the conclusion that the best thing for me to do is to just be there for the kids, call 911 if I become aware of something immediate happening, and make sure they know that they can move in with me if they ever feel the need to do so. So, on to the update. I saw the post last night and read all the comments. Some were very helpful, some were just flat out horrible and targeted at either me or my brother, and others were just blunt. I broke down at first, but let everything process. In that time I realized that, yeah, I'm at least partially part of the problem too. The fact is that I've been taught and conditioned to enable my brother's behavior my whole life. Right now, by not saying anything to my parents and running away from it, maybe I'm enabling it too. It's not my fault that I've been essentially trained to think and act this way in the face of situations like this. But at the same time, I'm an adult now, and it is my responsibility to break the cycle and not be part of the problem. It may take me a while to figure it out, but I will try my best. So, this morning I called my mom. I told her everything that happened and made it very clear that Sam needs to be kept away from the kids. I told her that I will do everything in my power to make sure those kids are safe from him, and she should be doing the same. She agreed. She was very disturbed by everything involving my cousins. She also acknowledged that we can't tell my aunt due to the abuse situation mentioned above, but said she's going to do everything she can to keep them away. That may mean we spend holidays at my aunt's house without Sam, and at least make my aunt aware that Sam may be trying to talk to the kids so she will monitor what's going on. Background: my aunt reads all of the kids' messages and dictates who they talk to, and is currently afraid that my brother will influence one of them into going to trade school, which for whatever reason is something she sees as horrible. If she sees any texts outside of "Hey, how are you doing? Happy birthday, Merry Christmas" from him, she'll probably block the number. As for the whole drugs and drinking problem thing, well, she was surprisingly calm about it. When I was first hearing about this stuff, I was shocked and barely reacted at first. I'm sure I seemed calm from the outside too. She may have been just reacting in the same way, but I don't know. I have a gut feeling that says she knew something before I told her. I don't know if maybe she had her suspicions, or if maybe someone else had said something. But part of me really thinks she knew something beforehand. Now, what's gonna happen next? Not sure. My mom said she'll talk to Sam today when he gets back from fishing. Not sure how that's going to go, but I'm sure I'll need to rant about it later. Hey everyone, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least, and I honestly never expected all of this to unravel the way it has. When I last wrote, I had shared the revelations about my brother Sam's drug use and the concerning incident with my cousins during Thanksgiving, and for days, I've been processing everything and trying to decide on the best steps forward. I appreciate everyone's input, even the tough love was necessary. So, some unexpected turns have developed. First things first, about my brother Sam. After my mom had a long, emotional talk with him, things got heated. During their conversation, which I describe as a mix of an intervention and motherly disappointment, Sam broke down and admitted he's been struggling more than any of us realized. It turns out that his issues go beyond substance abuse. Sam has been dealing with untreated depression and anxiety, which he self-medicated with drugs and alcohol. He expressed a genuine desire to get better, which is more than I dared hope for. A small victory, but a victory nonetheless. The very next day, by some stroke of fate, or maybe just consequence catching up, Sam's old friend Mike reached out. Why is this significant? Because Mike happens to be a counselor at a rehabilitation center a few cities away. I think someone upstairs must be playing one hilarious cosmic joke because Mike offered to help get Sam into treatment. And, against all expectations, Sam agreed. I'm trying not to get my hopes too high, but he's set to begin his recovery program next week. This is a big step, right? We've got to believe change is possible. And then there's the family dynamics. After the whole saga unfolded, my dad also had a sit down with my mom about reevaluating how they've been enabling Sam. While things between them are still tense, I've overheard discussions about everyone doing their part to clean up and maintain the holiday house, and actually setting clear boundaries, not just for Sam but for everyone. It's like the family is collectively exhaling, bracing to shift old patterns. Moreover, I've started having open conversations with my parents about expectations and enabling behaviors. Surprisingly, they're listening. We've begun drafting a shared schedule for who visits the grandparents' house, and my dad is adamant about having Sam contribute financially to fix things up in the future, part of his accountability project after rehab. As uncomfortable as these talks are, I'm weirdly optimistic about this whole responsibility initiative the family is trialing. Regarding my cousins, I've been keeping in touch with the older one, 17F. She's an absolute gem and mature beyond her years. We've set up weekly video calls, which she uses as an opportunity to vent about anything on her mind. The suggestion came from my therapist, and it's been solid gold. Let's just say, the adults in my family might be taking slow steps toward managing our baggage, but these kids are wise beyond their years. Whatever happens, I'll be here, ready to step up when needed. In a strange twist, my friends are rallying, and one of them suggested creating an anonymous blog to document this chaotic journey. It might serve to help others going through similar family ordeals or just be therapeutic for me. Honestly, I'm considering it. This whole situation has made it clear just how much support networks matter. With the internet, well, maybe we can find others who have taken on family chaos and come out stronger. To everyone who's been following this awkwardly complex narrative, thank you for sticking with me. We're still deep in uncharted waters, but at least now we've got a map, and while it's still heavily creased and stained, it's a start. I'll keep you posted on Sam's progress and any other family developments that arise. Till then, we're taking life one day, one step at a time. Hey everyone, buckle up because this roller coaster ride seems far from over. Since my last post, the family dynamics have taken yet another series of interesting turns. If you remember from last time, Sam was poised to enter rehab, and I'm thrilled to report that he's officially checked in. The facility he's at is top-notch, focusing not only on detox but also diving deep into underlying mental health issues. It's far more comprehensive than I initially thought, addressing everything from therapy sessions focusing on his depression and anxiety to goal-setting workshops. It's hard not to feel a sense of cautious hope. But life isn't slowing down just because Sam's in rehab. Over at the grandparents' house, my mom's stress levels were reaching new heights. My dad stepped in with an unexpected proposal, a full weekend for the whole family where we all pitched in to renovate and clean the place together. He described it as a family bonding and fixing weekend, complete with barbecue breaks. Surprisingly, Mom agreed, perhaps reluctantly, grasping desperately at this silver lining. So, we gathered at the house, and let me tell you, it was a scene right out of a dramedy. My dad managed to transform what could have been a tedious day into something lively by assigning jobs with humor-laden titles. There was Captain of Carpets, Commander of Cobwebs, and my personal favorite, Queen of Quick Fixes. Yep, that was me. Laughter ensued, and for the first time in years, we all found moments of genuine connection amidst the chaos. By the end, we had not only made a significant dent in cleaning but also lifted everyone's spirits. The house hadn't just been cleaned, it felt renewed. Several neighbors dropped by during our cleanup conundrum. Apparently the sight of the whole family in animated discussions and cleaning gear was enough to cause a stir. One elderly neighbor, Miss Clara, praised our efforts and even brought over some homemade cookies. She shared stories of my grandparents, reviving their legacy in unexpected heartwarming ways. Now, speaking of surprises, here's the kicker. My aunt, who is typically quite the enigma, decided to join us one evening. Armed with a bottle of her favorite wine, she brought a slew of old family photos and artifacts she'd rescued from her side of the state. We sat around swapping stories and memories, and for a moment, the fractured pieces of our family seemed to converge in blissful harmony. It felt surreal but joyful. Meanwhile, I've kept up my support network with my cousins. The weekly video calls have been a delight, and I'm happy to share that their parents are receptive to my presence in their lives. More allies against the mishaps of life, I guess. My younger cousin is developing quite the artistic streak. Every week he shows off new sketches inspired by, brace yourself, our family and these recent events. It might not be Picasso, but it's raw, honest, and incredibly insightful. On a personal note, my potential blog has transitioned from mere sketches in my head to tangible drafts on a screen. A friend has offered to help refine and format it, transforming our tale into something not just therapeutic for me but maybe useful or even amusing for others enduring familial pandemonium. The next few weeks are going to be telling as Sam moves through rehab and our family attempts to find its new normal. The Thanksgiving debacle seems both a lifetime ago and strangely recent. Each day, there's this odd balance of progress and uncertainty, like juggling with our eyes closed, but we're slowly getting better at it.